Hey guys, in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to make your first million gold on World of Warcraft. Let's get it. Now, the best way to do this will be farming materials. So doing transmog farms and farming like BOEs and rares and pets is a good way, but they take a long time to sell and you've got to have a lot of them. That is why I recommend when you're making your first million gold that you should do it pretty much all with materials, all things that sell really quick. That way you don't get discouraged like from doing all your work or your farming and not making any gold. But if you do it with materials, with mats and things that sell quick like materials, that is going to be the very best way to do it. So starting off, we'll show you the first farm that I'd recommend. Now with all of these, how I recommend you do it is that you farm them, you get say 500 to 1,000 of that certain material, put it on the auction house, and you want to always have a stock of that up in the auction house. And you don't want to just pick one farm, you want to do like say 10 of these farms, and you want to like do a route of all of them. So for an example, you have one farm, you have 10 farms that you want to pick, you'd farm all of them, put them all on the auction house, and then when things start to sell on the auction house, you basically just restock that material. So for an example, you did a silk farm, just for an example, then all the silk sold, you'd go back, you'd refarm it and restock it on the auction house. Now that is the very best way to make a whole heap of gold quickly. It's not like doing the best farm in the game, it's doing a whole heap of really good farms and having a big variety on the auction house and basically restocking them as soon as they sell. So if you have like 500 to 1,000 of them up in the auction house, that is plenty. Once they sell, you restock. So let's get into the farms that I recommend you doing. Okay, so the first farm that I recommend doing, well the first two, both require potion of treasure finding, and this basically just will give you extra loot, which is treasure boxes, when you kill creatures in specific zones, so cataclysmic zones for example. So we'll grab that and I'll show you where the two farms are. So for the very first farm, you're going to be farming the Volatile Fire, and for this farm you're going to need the potion of treasure finding. And now what this is going to do is going to give you extra loot as tiny treasure chests, and inside of them you get raw gold, ores, some silks, just a whole heap of other materials that will sell really well. It probably add about an extra 10k gold per hour to these farms. So the very first one that I'm going to be showing you is a Volatile Fire farm. Now this is located right here, so in Twilight Highlands, and it's located on this like red part right here, and you'll be killing these guys, the unbound Amorphines, and they will drop the Volatile Fire, as you can see right there, and they also drop the tiny treasure chest with the potion of treasure finding. So this is the first material farm I recommend you farming. Get yourself about around 200 to 500 Volatile Fires, and you also get a whole heap of other materials from the treasures. Okay, so the next farm I recommend you farming is the Volatile Water farm. Now this is actually just down on the river here, down from the Volatile Fire farm, and it is right here, and it's the same sort of deal. You want to make sure you have your potion of treasure finding to get your extra treasure chest with the materials. Oh look, there's a warrior here farming at the moment, and another guy. There's a couple of people, there might actually be a group of them here. But anyways, it's a very, very good farm. You're going to get your volatile waters. So for an example, let's grab one here. Loot one up and I'll just show you what they are. And you also get the tiny treasure chest, so just like the other farm. And now both of these volatiles will sell really well on the auction house. So we'll just try to get one here for you. Okay, there we go. We just got two volatile waters, and now these also sell really well. Anywhere from 50 gold to 100 gold each you'll get for these guys. You just want to make sure that you've got your potion of treasure finding. That way you're getting your bonus tiny treasure chest with a whole heap of extra materials to make the hourly profit go up a lot. So if you didn't know what the tiny treasure chests are, it's basically these things right here. So it says tiny treasure chest, and when you click on them, it will give you the materials. Okay, moving on to the next farm. Okay, so the next farm is going to be the Primal Wind farm. And now how you're going to farm these is you're going to be killing these guys right here, the Enraged Air Spirits. Now what these guys will drop is they have a chance to drop the Mote of Air. And now you need 10 Mote of Airs to make one Primal Air, for an example. So I'll just loot one up and I'll show you what they are so you know what you're looking for. Alright, see if we can get one on the next kill. They're pretty common really, so we should get one pretty soon. We got one, oh my god, video luck right here. Alright, let's get it. There we go. So we got one Mote of Air. You get 10 of those and you'll click that and it'll turn it into one Primal Air. Now Primal Air will go for anywhere from 1,000 to 1,400 gold. So very, very profitable farm this, and very good to do. So what I recommend doing is actually farming a whole heap of the Primal Airs. So get a whole heap of Mote of Airs, turn them all into Primal Airs, and then sell the Primal Airs. The Primals always sell a bit better on the auction house for a bit more and a bit quicker because they're the ready to go recipe ingredient, you know. Alright, moving on to the next farm. Oh, before we do that, this farm here is located right here, if I didn't show you that, in Shadowlands Valley. So right down the bottom here, and you'll find them all up here, basically in this whole valley right here, and that is in the Outlands, right? So let's move on to the next primal farm actually. Okay, so the next farm is also a primal farm, and it is going to be the Primal Fire farm. So what you're going to be farming here is the motes of fire, which you need 10 of those, and then you can turn that into a Primal Fire. And they also go for about 1,000 gold each, roughly, give or take. So where this farm is located is also in Outlands, in Hellfire Peninsula, and it's up here on this part right here. So all in this area is going to have spawns of these guys right here. So the Fell Spark. And now they're going to drop, as you can see, the Mote of Fire. Now when you get 10 Motes of Fire, you click on the mote and that will turn it into a Primal Fire. And then I recommend selling the Primals because they sell a lot better on the auction house. So moving on to the next farm. Now with these I recommend getting say 200 of these of the Primals up on the auction house at all time. When you sell them, restock them just like that. And you want to always have a good like I said, 200, even up to 500 of these on the auction house at once, and keeping them undercutting people. When they sell, you come back to the farm again. Same with all these farms, that is basically how you do them. But if you want other farms that aren't in this video, my gold making guide will actually be the first link down the description box below this video. Just like say thank you to all the people leaving their positive feedback and the kind words on the guide. Right, let's jump into. Okay, so this is the next farm, and yes, you could have guessed it. It is another primal farm. This one is the Primal Metaphor. Now it is located right here, basically on this whole side of this village right here, and that is in Northern Storm in Outlands. So right here, and what you're going to be killing is the Mena Seekers, and they, just like the other ones, will drop the motes of Mena. And when you get 10 of those, you can turn them into one Primal Mena, which also sells for about 800 gold to 1,000 gold each on most servers at the time of recording this video. But that there is the next farm. And now this is a really chill farm. They were pretty close together. It works really, really good on a druid, this one. Anyways, moving on to the... Okay, so the next farm is going to be the Spare Parts farm. Now this is located in Mechanome, and it's on the Mechanome Island, and it is in this part right here where you want to be farming. Now what you're going to be farming is all the different parts that drop from here. So there's like hardened springs, I think there's a fair few of them. and they all drop from these guys around here. And now all these parts are used for people that are trying to make mounts and pets, so the parts can actually be handed in and used to make certain mounts that people really want, and they need a lot of them. So when they're actually buying them off the auction house, they're going to be spending like 50k to 100k gold just to make the mount or the pet they want. That is where you come in, you sell the parts, they sell for really, really well. Always like to have, say, 500 of each part up in the auction house at once. So basically any material part that drops from these guys right here, all around here. Now you can find me solo, so you can just like pull them more, get them more to come back in the middle, and just AoE them down. You have to be kind of geared to do this. They are level, what are they, level 50. If like you want to be pulling the whole area and do it efficiently, you probably want to have a little bit of gear just to make the kills a bit quicker. But basically you just kill them all, you loot them up, as simple as that. And this is a really, really good gold farm. You can make like up to 100k gold per hour in the parts from here. So you don't want to get them mixed up with the spare parts. So for an example, just we'll do this kill and I'll show you what I mean. Now you can do this with a group of 5 people and basically pull absolutely everything, have a monk in the middle, or just have everyone try to kill in the middle. So the loot piles all in the middle and just loot it up like that. Or you can do it solo. You can pull a lot more than I'm pulling right now, but just for the video's sake, we'll just loot these up and I'll show you what parts I'm talking about. So for an example here, I'm not talking about the spare parts. The spare parts actually that are called spare parts, you can use them to make like your own mounts and get things like that too. But the things that you're going to make the gold of are these things right here. So you've got your hardened springs. They go for a region value of, what is that, 100 gold, 88 gold. And then you've got this one here, the machine gear assembly. This here one goes for about 50 gold, and then same with this one, this goes for about 30 gold depending on the server. So like they're really good, they sell fairly well, and when they do sell, like I said, they sell a lot of them. So it's always a good thing to have 500 to 1,000, even more of these up in the auction house at once. Wait for them to sell, come back, farm some more and restock them once your things have already sold. Anyways, moving on to the next farm. Okay, for the next farm, you're going to need Shadowlands skinning. It's going to be a skinning farm and you're going to be skinning the Volatile Leather. Now this is the very best spot to do it. You can actually do it solo here, or you can do it as a group. I'll show you both right now. So basically, when you're doing it solo, you just can pull a whole heap of them. They are level 60, so you need to have like some gear, or be like a tank spec if you don't have much gear. And you're basically just going to AoE them down, try to get them all in the middle, and then AoE them down, loot them up, and then skin them and try to get a big pile in the middle. So when you're doing it solo, you can just do it just like this. Very, very easy to do. So I'll just finish these off. And I'll skin them up and I'll show you what you actually get from skinning them. Now it is a lot better, well not a lot better, but it is better to do this with a group. If you have a full group, so you can have, say, a tank and 3 pullers. Mainly being the tank will be normally a druid or a monk. The monk can use a statue, the ox statue, and get everything to come into the center here. And then the rest of the people will AoE pull everything to the middle where they'll be killed. So basically you just want to loot them up. Most things you loot from them aren't too crazy, but the main thing that you're going to be getting is this Volatile Leather. And you're going to be getting a whole heap of it, and it's the best spot in the game to be farming it. And now this leather is the current leather for the expansion in Shadowlands, and so it's going to sell really, really, really well. Now I'll show you how to do this with a group. Now if you didn't know how to actually find a group for this, I'll actually show you how you do it. So you go to pre-made groups right here, you go to custom, and it is just going to be this right here. So there's a whole heap of them, they're all called the same thing. It's the 2x4 farm, and that will be a skinning farm. Heaps of people are doing it, especially on the oceanic servers. There's a lot of people, so you could simply just queue up. So these guys need a DPS, you can queue up for that. I'll queue up for a few and I'll show you how a group works with it going. It may not be the best group in the world, but it's just like a normal group that you'll find on looking for group. So let's do that. Okay, so these guys are working on the bottom spot right here. You can go top or bottom, depends if there's competition. But as you can see, this is how the group works. Basically everything will get pulled to the middle right here. You will want to loot it up and just skin it up. Spam skin, because there's going to be like more than you can even click the amount to skin basically. So you also want to get fast skinning. You can get that the Shadowlands faster skinning if you really want to go into this farm. It is a really good farm and you do get a lot of leather from it, like per hour. It's insane. Moving on to the next farm. Okay, the next farm you're going to want to be heading into the deep home, and you want to have fishing. Cataclysmic. Okay, the next farm is a bit more relaxing. It is going to be a fishing farm and you're going to be fishing for the albino cave fish. And so let's just put fishing where that should be. Okay, so we've got fishing. You want to make sure that you have fishing obviously, and where we actually are is just here. So all this like lighter area is actually water. You actually fish all of this here. It's a really good spot. It's the best spot to fish the albino cave fish. Let's get Ludopros right. Now what am I saying? Cave fish, albino cave fish go for a lot of gold. It's probably one of the most expensive fish that you can farm and like farm really well. What I like to do here is get about 500 to 1,000 of these guys at once, put them up in the auction house. On my server, they're actually selling for 600 gold each for a very long time, and I made a lot of gold, like millions of gold just from this farm. And as you can see, we actually just got Volatile Water on the very first fish. That's surprising. You can actually you can get Volatile Water also, but the main thing that you're going to be getting is the albino cave fish. As you can see, they're worth about 200 gold on my server. Now where you're going to be fishing them is in all this water. The best thing to do is just look for the pools, fish the pools. There should always be one pool up at once. So the river actually goes up and it wraps around the mountain right here. So if there's no pools down the bottom, you fly at the top here and you just search this spot here for pools also. So you go all the way around here, so there's another pool right there. And then it will wrap around this corner and you basically can just fish anywhere along here. You want to fly up and down and find the albino cave fish pools, fishing pools. So guys, if you do all of them farms, they're all really good material farms that sell really well. I recommend as for a beginner, just starting off with these few farms that I've showed you in the video, getting 500 to 1,000 of each of the material and try to keep that up on the auction house at all time and undercut other people. So do undercut scams. So you're like staying competitive with the prices. Then once you sell all the materials, just come back here, back to the farms, refarm them, restock up on the materials, and keep doing that. And within no time, you will make your first million gold. I guarantee it. Now, if you want some more gold making farming spots for materials, for absolutely everything, I have a whole heap inside my gold making guide. It'll be the very first link down in the description box below the video. So go ahead and check that out. Hit a thumbs up button on this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to the channel because I make a lot more videos just like this and I upload pretty much every single day. So till the next one.